Hey everyone! Welcome to my new temporary studio space. We have a few things still at the other house that we need to get, but other than that, we're pretty much moved in, which is nice. Now I just have a lot of unpacking to do. I said my temporary craft room because our plan is to build a studio space in our backyard, but that's gonna be quite a while. It's gonna be pretty expensive, so we have to save up for that. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. But for now, I'll be here in this little room. As you guys know, and it's been the case for like the past few videos, a lot of my stuff is packed up. You can see I have big boxes everywhere. So trying to do a DIY project was a little bit difficult because I didn't have access to my stuff. So for this week's project, I decided to tackle something that I've been putting off for a long time. I'm going to be repairing a stretched canvas painting. I had this canvas that I hand stretched and painted like an assignment on like a long time ago. After college, I didn't like it, so I gessoed it over and then painted something else, like a pinup space girl kind of thing. I didn't really like it that much, but I never painted over it just because I wasn't really set up for a good like painting space, I guess, in my old house. But now that I am, what better time to re-gesso this canvas? The only problem is that there was a tear in it because somebody, aka Uni, knocked it over and made it fall into something sharp, and it caused a little tear. So that's what I'm going to be repairing today. I'm going to repair that tear and show you guys how to do it, and then re-gesso this canvas. So yeah, let's get started. You'll need, of course, a torn canvas, scissors, canvas fabric, fabric glue, something heavy, sandpaper, gesso, and if you're repairing an already painted canvas, you may need a few colors that match the spot where the tear is. So here's the tear. It's not too bad. It's pretty small, but it's still a hole, so I still need to fix it. So lay your canvas down, back facing up. You may want to put something on the floor or table or whatever you're doing this on to protect it from getting glue on it. I ended up doing this later. Anyway, cut a piece of canvas fabric to size. This first canvas fabric I almost used ended up being slightly different than the canvas I used when I made this thing. It probably would have been fine, but I did have some other canvas fabrics. I figured I'd try to use one that is similar to the canvas that is used already. I ended up cutting a bit of this fabric that's already pre-gessoed on one side. Use a brush, or in my case, your finger, to spread the glue on the piece of canvas fabric as well as around the tear. Since this piece of fabric that I'm using is gessoed on one side, I spread the glue on the gessoed side and then stuck that side down onto the back side of the canvas so that when you flipped it over, the gessoed side of the little patch fabric would be showing through the tear. I also tried to line up the weave of the fabric to the fabric of the canvas. I'm not sure if that's totally necessary, but I did it anyway. Then I spread a bit more glue onto the back of the little patch of canvas fabric just to make sure that it is totally glued down. So here's where I ended up getting something to protect my floor. I'm glad I remembered because there was a little tiny bit of glue that had leaked out of the tear. Anywho, stick your heavy object, I have this tiny little anvil, on top of the patch. If you're worried it'll stick, use something like a sheet of plastic to lay on top of the patch before you stick the heavy thing on. I wasn't really worried that the fabric would stick to my anvil, so I just skipped that. Then wait for the glue to dry. I waited overnight. Once dry, remove the heavy object and flip it over. And here you can see how the tear looks. Obviously it's still here, but at this point, if I were keeping the painting like this, I would have tried to color match and then paint over the tear, which would help to make it near invisible. But since I'm going to prep this canvas for a new painting, I didn't bother. If you fixed a blank canvas this way, you'll probably have a little noticeable dent where the tear was, but you can just put on a layer of gesso or two and it should be good as new. For me, to prep the canvas, I lightly sanded down the canvas to get rid of any globs of paint that might be there from the existing painting. Then I took some gesso and painted it on. I struggled with this paintbrush for a little while. It wasn't the best, but thankfully I had some foam brushes laying around, and one of those ended up working beautifully. I let that dry and then painted another coat. Technically, I should have lightly sanded this whole canvas before painting the second coat of gesso on. Typically, when you gesso a canvas, you sand between every layer, but I totally forgot. Anyway, I let it dry and then I did the last coat, this time sanding in between. And here's the new prepped canvas, ready for my next painting. Here's an up-close view of where the tear was. I mean, you can still sort of see it, and if I wanted to add more layers of gesso, eventually you would barely even be able to. But I figured that this was good enough, and whatever I ended up painting on top of it will help further hide the tear. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope it was helpful for you guys. I'm really excited to have this big canvas again. I have no idea what I'm going to paint on it yet. It might be a while until I get to it, but definitely I will film whatever I paint on it. If you guys did like this video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. I post art videos every Tuesday and DIY videos every Thursday. You can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, and Twitch, and all the information to those are down below. Thank you so much to my patrons for helping me produce this video. If you are interested in becoming a patron or just learning about what Patreon is, I'll leave a link to mine right up here and you can go check it out. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next week.